Oh my gosh, Mortal Kombat 1? Look at the, oh my god, look at the kapows. Look at the blamos. Oh no, no way. No way. Oh no. Shang Tsung is, what? Pre-order? Huh? You know what? It's not free real estate. Unlockable characters have been struggling this past decade, from one of my favorite features to one of my least favorite features, because, well, how do you unlock most characters nowadays? Let me just break down the problems it's having today, starting with the biggest one. Video games nowadays release, and when you're able to play as more than one character, or you're choosing characters, whether it's a fighting game, strategy game, platformer, people expect there to be downloadable content eventually. This sometimes leads to games at launch feeling barren and unfinished. I mean, seriously, look at the new Mario Strikers. At launch, they had nothing to do and nobody to play as. Eventually, they added a decent roster, but I feel like most of us would have preferred to have the roster they currently have at the launch and have them be unlockable. This would have given the game a much needed goal, and it would have been received much better, I feel like. Well, it also needed to be just better mechanically. DLC can also make companies look like the big cash grabbers that they are, when it seems they purposefully separate some of the content or characters from the launch of a game to then sell as DLC, like Shang Tsung as a pre-order bonus. It just really shows the greed when they are charging a couple extra bucks for, like, Joe Swanson joining Street Fighter or something at launch when he could have just been in the base game. Of course, I feel like this problem is one that won't ever get fixed, as it's far too easy for companies to charge for a little extra add-on they can put in during or after the game's launch. I mean, companies would be stupid to not charge for this. A decent example of how to do this right, though, would be something like the Fighter's Pass for Smash Ultimate. That game already had a large and mostly complete game, and they hadn't even started work on the DLC characters until the game was launched. It gets almost everything right, which brings me to my next point. This is how you usually unlock characters in Smash Ultimate.
3, 2, 1, go! Game!
Just play matches. Every couple you can unlock a character. Yeah, this one is easily cheesed and can take a very quick amount of time to unlock every character, making the whole, well, we only start with 12 characters, we gotta unlock so many more, take like an hour at most. Now, let's look at a good example of how to unlock characters in the same series with Super Smash Bros. Melee. So unlike Ultimate, this game only has two methods of unlocking characters. First is the basic versus match. However, for this game, the amount of versus matches is much higher for each character, usually creating a strong enough deterrent to persuade the player to choose the other method, which is a unique method for each character. Examples of this are completing Classic or Adventure Mode without continues as Marth to unlock Roy, or completing a specific event match that correlates with that character, clearing a 100-man Melee to unlock Falco. It just creates such a memorable experience for the player for unlocking these specific characters. And it offers the player a chance to try out these new modes that they might not have tried if they just stuck to versus matches. Like, I'll never forget how cool it was watching the cutscene where Mario jumps in and then Luigi comes out of nowhere during Adventure Mode. I mean, look at this specific unlock for Luigi, it's ridiculous. And I love that. Even with methods that you can cheese, it still provides a unique method that makes the player never forget. Like for Mewtwo, where you need to play versus mode for a combined time of 10 hours. So what we did was we would just get in a game and leave the game on, and then come back 10 hours later, and it was just so cool to see that Mewtwo pops up. Games nowadays rarely even have unlockable characters, and if they do, it defaults to things like beat the game to unlock the final boss, or simple repeatable tasks that don't provide much of a challenge. Smash Ultimate had a fun idea with the Sephiroth challenge, but, well, I mean, you can't even do that anymore. But it is something I wish we saw more. And I think the reason unlock methods are lazy nowadays are because of one thing. Now hey, esports are fun, I guess. It's always cool to see people master the game and compete to be the best of the best, but it also creates an environment for developers to make unlockable characters either non-existent or they're unlocked by simple methods that can be done within an hour of getting a game. And this is because players want to have all the tools available to them so they can get into the workshop as soon as possible. Or for hosting tournaments and not needing to spend hours on a game unlocking every character to be able to use them. It is an understandable decision. I mean, hell, I've seen some Smash tournaments where someone's copy didn't bother to unlock every character. Like, imagine getting ready for the match and they're like, oh yeah, my bad, I never unlocked Duck Hunt Dog.
Asshole!
Despite this though, I still believe this sacrifices some of the fun in a video game, as it prioritizes esports over the actual enjoyment of the casual player. Instead, I wish games implemented a method similar to one of my favorite fighting games,
Godzilla Unleashed.
This game has a lot of unlockable monsters to play as, but let's say you're having a tournament and didn't have enough time to unlock every character. Well, if you just input a specific cheat code, which are also fun, please bring them back, you temporarily unlock every character till you turn off the game. Not permanent, temporary. So you can still have the fun of unlocking everything without sacrificing the time investment for esports. But even if that's fixed, there's still one aspect of unlockable characters that probably won't ever get fixed. The secret of not knowing what characters are in a game are over, at least at launch. So data miners, let's agree not to spoil anything, okay? Yeah, we're done now. Data mining, over. It's done. We did it. We beat data mining. No, yeah, that's never gonna happen. And I don't blame them. I like getting spoiled too. This is actually the only area where DLC is actually a good idea, to hide what future unlockables there could be. But the days of not knowing whether you can unlock Sonic and Tails and Melee are over. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I don't know, just delete social media and live in Funky Kong's hut.
Okay.
Today's unlockable character problem is only going to get worse as microtransactions, pre-order bonuses, and DLC continue to thrive. And this issue isn't just with fighting games, it's present in sports games, party games, racing games, hell, even some single-player games. And this isn't just limited to characters, it also extends to modes and stages. I just want video games to be complete again. And having the only things that are locked for me not be unlocked by a credit card, but by a fun and unique experience. And if it does have to be a DLC unlockable, create a unique story or something like the mentioned Sephiroth challenge. Basically, every game just needs to try to be like Shrek Super Slam. I'll never forget unlocking Humpty Dumpty.